Hello, everybody. Welcome to the second day of the second week for the NA division of Winners League. Of course, I'm your host, Strong Legs. Joined with me is Darfmike, as always, for the NA broadcast. Mike, how you doing, baby? Looking fly as ever. And how many dress shirts do you have? Jesus.
Look, man, when you got to wear a collar every day for work, you got to expand the wardrobe a little bit. Between that and events work, you just got to have a little bit of variety in your life. A little bit of variety.
Yeah, I
We're
like
getting
it.
towards the short sleeves. It's warm here. I don't know how it is up north for you guys, but
A little
the
chilly.
sun is out. My lack of guns are out, and I'm ready to see some guns in the server, Roy.
Yeah, your mustache looking fly as well. But here we go. So today's schedule is looking pretty awesome, Mike. We have Polar Ace versus Hysteria coming up first. Of course, we've seen both of these teams play yesterday, and now we're going to be seeing them play against each other. The second map coming up for the night, it is Singularity versus Loki Esports, two teams that we have seen and we're pretty familiar with as well. I think the second match is going to be absolutely fire. And the third match of the evening is the new Intact roster versus Dogs of War, a team that we have not yet seen. And both of these rosters come from the ESEA Advanced. So both of these teams are kind of like on that cusp of that, MDL, the semi-pro level. So I think we have a pretty good show on the road. But I think the knife round is underway, so we can just go straight to end game for the first map.
And away we go. Straight into the knife. Polar Ace and Hysteria. We saw these two teams very recently. Polar Ace took a long 16-14 game. Came down to the absolute wire against Livid. And Hysteria was matched up against... What did we see last? Did they take the full brunt of Lazarus? Oh,
they got the Lazarus bird, hungry bird.
That was a rough one for them, but really there was nothing they really could have done about that. That's just sometimes you got to go up against the big boss to start things off.
For sure, but this is more of an even matchup, I would say. I mean, Hysteria is only one level below. It should be a much closer than what we saw versus Lazarus, but off heavily towards the B site they go. AGM, the only player towards this direction, no armor, means that shots might actually be a little bit more fatal than he might expect, but smoking kit will be useful if it comes down to that retake scenario. Now, here we go.
That's a bold move, just leaving this single unarmored player with a smoke over here. He's going to be setting up for the retake. I'm surprised we're not already seeing at least one player rotate, but they're pretty committed to this quad crossfire in towards the brackets. It's not going to be rewarded with any sort of presence. Instead, Hysteria is just going to stick to their first read and start to bulldoze through. They'll actually run right through the smoke of AGM, so that doesn't stall them except for a moment. The flanks will be on here quickly, but AGM just has to withdraw into the church and wait for the cavalry to get here because he does not want to take this duel without armor.
Yeah, this is about to get messy right now. The flanks coming in, two players. That's Base. And another Shank. Blendon is completely blind. There's a nice flashbang coming out, but Base is by first frag. Now he up the other side of the map, picks up 2 kills towards the construction area, and it is down to a 3 versus 4 in favor of Hysteria. Down to 3 versus 3. P-Fitter, excuse me, Jitter, not P-Fitter. That's found himself with 2 kills from that dark position. That's an impressive hold. And there it is, Hysteria picking up the first round.
That was a really nice setup, and sort of as soon as they lose church control, there's just a great flashbang. 2 players blinded up, get deleted before they really have a chance to answer back. As soon as they lose that church control, it's kind of all over. There's a great post-plant situation, great crossfire setup, and Hysteria plays it nicely. So that's a good early result here, and they had a very serious plan going into that round, and they executed it to perfection. So now they've got a bit of a difficult round to overcome. It is going to be the force buy out from Polar Ace, sort of a haggard force buy. 3 players have armor. AGM holds back with just the upgraded Deagle, but there's a fair amount of utility as well. They've got 5 smokes across the board, some HEs, some flashes to work with, and a scout on Jonah P. This could get interesting, Roy.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. This could get very interesting, especially if Hysteria kind of keeps the slow pace and Polar Ace are kind of disciplined with that smoke usage. That's gonna be coming out, but Jonah P can't even pull the trigger before he's removed from Dangler, and Jitter follows up with a second. So that's a 2-man advantage now, and the chaos and the confusion for Polar Ace is gonna have to pretty much force to remove Picky from the B site, and maybe even AGM. They might just get off the B side entirely. They have no idea what Hysteria is up to here.
Now AGM, again, naked, no armor behind him. He's got a Deagle, so at least maybe he takes a head as they round the corner, but that's best case scenario. He's going to dump the smoke early, and now he's blinded up. There's a lot of utility sailing his way, and he's going to get into the action, but that's perfect for the Hysteria side. They've got the SMGs, and they can just feast on his armorless body. Picky's trying to get back through, and he is pretty skilled with the Deagle. There he delivers, finds the first, but it's just a MAC-10 picked up. He needs to find so much more, and they should be comfortable for Hysteria. They've done a good job of asserting control here on B early on. We'll see what they can lend it to. Picky has a set of armor, as does Shank. That's worth saving, especially because they don't have weapons that are really well suited to getting this retake on.
Wow.
And as Shank drops now, it's just Picky who's alone with a hope and a prayer and a really quick deagle.
Man, Jitter is on it right now. He's so fast. He's looking really sharp early on in this game. He's already at 5-0. That's pretty impressive. Now we're going on to the third round of the game, of course, where Polar Ace, unfortunately, the downside of investing in the round before means you're broke. It's going to be pistols, light armor for base, maybe flash. There it is. Picky picking up the flashbang, couple P250s. That's about the extent that they buy. So it should be Hysteria picking up a pretty comfortable round right here. Let's see if they can make it clean, though, because that early T-side economy will be a massive factor in how this first half unfolds.
I like the nades at the top, and they destroy Jonah before he can even get a lick of action. There's a counter shot from base, but it's not quite enough against the armored body of Lennon. So 2 players out of the server early on, and very little yielded for it. They're getting aggressive at the very least to kind of mix things up, and that's going to allow AGM to catch the wounded Lennon in rotation and steal away a gun. It's just a Galil, but still, it's something to work with. B site will fall once again. I'm seeing a trend here. Hysteria definitely like to hit B, at least against less than fully armed opponents. And so we'll get another plant in another round. And at this point, AGM's presumably just saving this Galil. Shank's going to set up for an eco frag, or for an exit frag rather. But with just a P250, no armor, that's a tough task to begin with.
Oh, I think his shoulders got spotted. Hitting the gym too much. Those big, broad shoulders sticking out. And he goes down. No kill. Nothing found. Nice attempt. I do respect it. But unfortunately,
it's built like an ox. It's hard to hide behind a pillar when you just got that brawn.
Well, I can't hide behind pillars. My legs just stick out from both sides.
They just stick out, just like the edge of the thigh.
Exactly.
I see you. I see you.
But
people are just very confused. They're like, man, that's a really curvy pillar. that pillar's got some. That pillar's got some. Got it all.
But mental.
AGM's gonna be able to keep us alive. He's hanging out in the kitchen. At least
this is a great find.
Over.
Hey,
yeah,
don't sleep
he's got
on
an
the
op as well now.
Yeah, that's a free rifle. That's one player that can buy in the next round. Full buy, pretty much. But also, Mundell got 3 kills with the MAC-10, so that's a lot of cash for him as well. So, I mean, Hysteria right now, even if they lose this round, they still have a lot of money moving forward. So, Polar Ace, lots of pressure on them right now.
Are you a Galil fan?
I'm a
what? Believer in the gun?
The Galil?
Yeah, the Galil.
Not a big fan, honestly, but it's a rifle, and it shoots people, and it kills.
Sometimes it does kill. Yeah,
not when I use it.
Yeah, definitely not when I use it. I would say that of the rifles, I guess I put it on the lowest echelon. I mean, obviously it's a little less expensive than the FAMAS, but neither one's ideal. But the Galil sometimes it just feels like it's a pea shooter. That's a nice little molly. Slow them down. That's definitely where Hysteria wants to move. They've taken a hallway control in the apartment. They're going to be slowed for just a moment. There are 3 players here to defend, and they're dumping utility very effectively to slow this. It's the push out of the balcony, though. And the MAC-10 trades effectively. That's everything they wanted out of the SMG. But Shank is still in the pit, and he's found 2. That will be all she wrote as he is silenced. But AGM's managed to slip away. So now it is a 3-on-3 retake. There's some utility on Jonah P to get them in here. But there's also utility available for Hysteria to slow this down, particularly the Molotovs.
Yeah, and a nice, well-placed nade. Picky's already down to 53, and the retake attempt hasn't even started yet. But nice dink onto Dangle. That's going to bring it down to 3 HP. And Picky will have no choice but to use his utility defensively to keep himself alive. But the problem is there's no kit, so they have to go fast.
Jonah P trying to slide, and that just sets it all up for the Dangler. He claimed 3 as they move forward. It was a rock in a hard place, and they had to make a decision, and their decision led them right into Dangle. And just like the dangled bait, he struck. Did that work? I don't think that worked.
You know what? It works in my heart, Mike. That's where it matters, okay?
That's where it matters. He certainly picked up the 3K, and he's looking pretty right now. I mean, 8,700 on Dangler, 88 on Jitter. They've just built this bank in a big way, and they're claiming rounds. So it's going to be another eco half-buy type of situation. Some armor, a single scout, some upgraded pistols. We'll see if they can get anything with it this time. They have not had a lot of success. Picky claims 1, but he's lost a teammate as well as his own life instantly.
Yeah, lots of risks to be taken by Hysteria. I mean, luckily for them, it's working out right now. But these are risks that will only work so often, right? You're just playing a percentage game with these kind of pushing through smokes against pistols. I don't know how I feel about that, but luckily for Hysteria, it's working on this round. Player advantage, but I think this is gonna be another round secured for Hysteria. But I want to talk about. Wait, actually, let's see the shot from base first. Nice shot at the tag. Dangler, though, not gonna let him dangle around for too long, but. I mean, Hysteria is showing some prowess right now. Even on their A take, I saw some signs of high-level play. I mean, exploding with proper flashbangs. Not only that, but as soon as they even got out of halls, they're like tighten up against the walls, making sure they're not, they're waiting for that player from pit to be cleared out properly. They're not really trying to force it. They're not really trying to lose their lives. these are all, you know, telltale signs that Hysteria is pretty much feeling themselves right now on this T side, and I feel like Polar Ace is in danger.
It definitely is. They're looking sloppy on the Polar A side, and as you said, Hysteria looks very good. Shock will at least get himself a scout. I don't know whether he wants to keep this or whether he wants to just try and take a rifle out of his enemy's hands. There's no chance to do that, though, so he's going to go ahead and withdraw and get out of here, keep the scout alive, keep the set of armor alive. It feels like, I mean, we've only seen one true gun round, right? And Hysteria played it very effectively. Polar Ace, a little bit sloppy. They're going to have a lot of money in this one, though, so if they're going to get started, this is the round to do so. They keep the scout? No, they don't. Seems like they're going to dump that, go for the full rifles, recognize that this is the round where they got to make their case if they're going to do so. And it's full AKs on the other side. Hysteria rolling absolutely with the cash machine. The war chest is full, and they are pressing the advantage. So now another full gun round. We'll see what they do. Jonah P tries to get aggressive, and the utility, it destroys him once again. That's 2 rounds now where Jonah P has just been completely taken out of the round by utility on Banana.
I like the pillar stack as well. I mean, you try to push up, Lennon might spot you. Lennon, you might not expect 2 players to be there. You might find one, but it's going to be an instant trade pretty much. They're in front of these smokes, so they can actually go for that banana control, but it seems like Polar Ace, they're ready for it. Picky Base picking him apart. Jitter answers back, but he's immediately traded back by Base, maintaining that 1-man advantage. And that smoke is going to pretty much be the end of that push. There's still so much time left. I mean, this is before the 1-minute mark, and already there are 5 players dead on the server.
Jitter's got, I mean, he lives up to his name, right? He's got that quick jitter to get the second on the spray transfer. Well done by Jitter. Eventually loses his life, but still some damage was done. They slow it down. They act like they're going to rotate, and then they head right back. And EGM's the floater with the AWP. He's the one you really don't want to run into, the one you want to force into a post-plant scenario. And he's watching out towards Arch, so that might be exactly what happens. It's all going to come down to Base, who's alone on site right behind the fountain with nades sailing in around his ears. He hears them blooming. He hears them going off. And he's just going to be patient. I like this spot. There's the first. Now he can get the second as well. The flash is perfect from his teammate. He doesn't quite have the kill, though, and Dangler will still have an opportunity to have impact. New clip in the gun. He transitions to get this plant. The op doesn't want to push him through the smoke. Although, as I say that, AGM wants to see if he plant open. And he'll allow the bomb to go down, but get it as soon as he pulls off. Dangler tries to take the fight, and it's punished. So Polar Ace finally on the board, but only 2 alive here, Roy.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's a win. At least it's a win. They're on the board now. The curse has been lifted. They can kind of start stringing it and chip away at Hysteria's economy, but man, I really am worried here in this early part of this half at the very least. I mean, Jitter 14,000, Dangler almost at 15,000. That's enough for what? This buy and another buy full, plus the potential 3rd buy with a loss bonus and bomb plants?
Yeah.
It's scary.
I mean, the war chest is deep.
Yeah, especially Jitter. Look at it, 9,500 after buying.
That's insane. Have we seen Dangler break out the op on the T side yet, or is this a new development?
This is the first time he did it. Yeah, they've been rifled up pretty much.
Where he takes AGM still the sole op on the CT side. They didn't have a lot of spare money to be thrown around, so we don't know whether that's a willful choice as of yet. But we'll see what Dangler wants to do. He's been very good with the rifles. Very, very good. We'll see what he can do with the big green gun. He's looking to work that pickup mid, and his teammates are grouping up in the apartment, so this could be perfect. If someone comes and gives him an opportunity, get that first pick, and then just flood out. We saw them do it on balcony earlier. We know they've got it in their toolbook. This could be an effective hit.
And AGM is going to be the key, I think, in this round. He's in a good position for the AWP. Now, good use of flashbangs and smoke from Hysteria is going to have them at least shutting down the offense in the meantime. But AGM from top of the site finds one chunk from above, holding down that apartment's hit. Also finding another. All players alive except one now. Base falling down, but there are still 2 more players here, Mike.
I love this positioning from Shank. He just stays alive long enough. He'll eventually drop, but that allows the cavalry to come in, and Picky's there to support, and AGM is close up on site, using that op like a shotgun and knocking down all comers. That's a big round for Polar Ace to pick up,
Definitely.
and it's important that they keep at least 3 alive. Now they can start to breathe just a little bit. It's like when you get home after work and you just do that one, you just unbutton your pants that little bit, and just the gut sags out.
When you
when
you get home from work or get home from eating all you can eat sushi? I don't know.
I mean, either or, right?
Or some of
Either
Insomnia's
or.
cooking.
For me, it's work. Insomnia's cooking definitely would do it. I see those pictures, and let's just say it hurts me that I can't eat.
I told him I want to kidnap him and make him my personal chef.
That's the move. The esports chef. There's what's the Overwatch chef? Chef Heidi's getting getting big with the esports chef move. I think there's a market here. Teams got to eat, man. Teams got to eat.
Yep. Now, luckily for Hysteria, they have a lot of money still, so they're going to be eating quite a bit. I think they're going for the 5 AK purchase once again. I don't quite see the HUD just yet, but
Dangler's thinking about it. He's got the cash for the op. Didn't work out so well, but he'll go back to the rifle.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, even if they get a bomb plan here, they might be able to squeeze out one more buy. So Polar Ace, they're still in trouble. Luckily for them, though, they're working with a lot more than they've had. 4 AUGs and AWP, all 5 kits in full utility. That's intense. Let's see if Hysteria kind of switches it up. They've been doing a good job at, alternating their aggression. Going slow, defaulting up. Also going pretty fast out, exploding out halls. Now, this is the 8th round. The 3rd gun round attempt, I believe, if my math is not wrong here. Early aggression towards middle. Again, AGM, he really likes that truck side hopping. What? Oh, Discord's lagging? No. Try joining my Discord. Link my Discord to him. Mike, I believe Discord's lagging, so if you can hear me, I'm just going to take over from here while we fix that up in the background. But it is going to be AGM, where's the boiler side with the AWP. Has lined up. He takes down Mundo and gets a tag off on towards Dangler. But he's not falling back. He wants to continue his aggression. Hia comes out the halls. Shank base, they're still holding strong. So we're just not going to let this slip too far out of control. And it's all now down to Dangler. 1 versus 3. And Jonah B eventually shuts him down. So a 3-round alive for Polar Ace. And I think things have finally stabilized. Lack of a bomb plan for Hysteria puts him in a pretty awkward, kind of an awkward economic point here. They have to decide whether they want to force buy up. Yeah, we're just going to go on a quick, short technical timeout right here for us on the broadcast. We're just going to get everything situated on our back end. We'll be right back. Mute in game. Why? What's wrong?
Did I come through clear on that?
Oh, I see. Test. La. You guys hear me right now? Test. All right, here we go. We're back. Sorry about that, guys. That is completely out of our control. Discord not helping us out at all right here. Oh, so many awesome people in the chat. What up, everybody? Welcome. I really do wish there was a little bit more support from everybody in the community, kind of just hanging around, hanging out with the players, hanging out with the, interacting with the viewers, interacting with everybody, so we can kind of create a little bit of a community interaction in the chat. But regardless, it's going to be a fast-paced Hysteria coming out right here, and Dangler putting down Jonah B, but base with that AUG, spraying it down, holding it down. That's 2 kills for him. Dangler, he had gone down. Mundo down to 1 HP. The Polar Ace once again sitting pretty comfortably. Mike, are you live? Are you here with us?
I am, and I'm hearing you clearly and not complete robot voice, so it's good to hear indeed. They're gonna re-aggress this time, trying to get up brackets, trying to get a little bit of control here, and it's straight into the op. AGM misses that shot, but the HE is gonna do the trick instead. Mundle now out. He was barely a whisper left in the round, and now he's been silenced. 2 players on site. Gonna battle it back, but Hysteria, it feels like they've been neutered a little bit. They've had some of the teeth taken out of their attacks. They've been blunted in the last few rounds. Shank will get a little bit too aggressive, and Jitter will take advantage of that. He's re-secured the bomb, so maybe something to work with here. With 55 seconds on the clock, he's got to come up with a plan of action because Polar Ace have already brought through reinforcements.
Now, the position that he's in is kind of a double-edged sword. It is a good angle to find those isolated 1v1s, and that's exactly what he will need in this 1 versus 3. He has a player isolated on site. He has a player by himself towards library, but now that he has to jump down, unfortunately, that gives away a bit of a... Oh, he has the right read, but AGM just staying tight to the wall. I like that from him, just kind of remaining patient with the support of, I think it was base there towards that library side, but it is, yeah, I mean, you said it. Hysteria's a little bit neutered right here.
I really do like the addition of AGM to this roster. I think it was an element that they needed in terms of that little bit more experience, a little bit of a veteran presence. And I think they're really showing better results with it. So going down 5-0 at the beginning, they battled back with 5 now. It's anybody's game. You've got Hysteria on an Eco. You've got best situation being a Mac 10 on Lennon. They're going to be seriously hampered through here. And we saw them get, it almost felt like weaker and weaker round by round in the last few hits. But what are they going to do with the Eco? What are they going to do with the broken buy, pistol armors? What's the plan here? Hysteria, they need to come up with something else, right? Because the initial plan has been figured out. They've been foiled. Now you got to go back to that playbook and find your X factor.
Right. I mean, we saw that they had good structure. They had good executes. They have good anti-ecos. You know, a bit more on the aggressive side, a bit more on the kind of the risk-taking side. Which again, it's not a bad thing. But as soon as you know those cards run out, do you have any more in your pocket? Can you switch it up? We haven't really seen any splits towards Arch. Haven't really seen anything out of mid control except a hit directly into the A side through truck and lane. So still so much in the playbook that could be done. There it is, AGM. That's a little bit of danger. He's going to fall off, and the crossfire setup here is being established between Face and AGM. Nice spray, nice flashbangs coming out. So that's good support there from Polar Ace. At least we're seeing good signs of that early on. And Shonk out of the pit, shooting sharp. Ace closing it off. That's another flawless round. Now, Mike, we're in a mirror situation now. Look at the money on Polar Ace.
It's been built. They really haven't been tested in the last few. I mean, they kept 4 alive. I mean, they get 5 alive in the last, 3 in the previous, 4 before that. They've been rolling that cheddar a little bit round by round, and now the bankroll's up. It's funny, Base, I feel like I've cast him having just highlight reels from that particular position, swinging in to check the arch side. And he's a player who really does play Inferno quite effectively. AGM's going to get aggressive this time, peeking right into ult mid and claiming a life early on. So only 20 seconds into the round, and already the first victim is fallen. That's Lennon. And Hysteria, once again, they're going to be on the back foot as a result. That hurts.
That does hurt. I like the aggression from AGM, and now they have the money for these kind of risks, right? At one point, they were kind of like struggling, so they didn't want to take these kind of risks, right? They couldn't have AGM going, you know, kind of free reign, but now they have a lot of cash, so they can take all these crazy risks. Now, bracket control finally established here around the 1 minute mark, so just on schedule, but they are a man down, so they do need some sort of answer back here before they can commit to a site.
I like the spot for Jonah P. He's been struggling a little bit to get into the game, so you give him a position where it's like, all right, we're going to get the 1 and done. You're the early warning system. You're going to be the trigger for us to rotate to figure out the positioning. He's smoked out, so he can just kind of sit here for a while. He knows that they're still around. There's a lurk towards the top, Banana, who might be able to do a little bit of damage and distract focus, but really Polar Ace can just sit comfortable in their spots. And now Jonah's going to get an opportunity. Back exposed, easy frag. Knows there's more on the swing. He can get support from the arch side, or from the Onyx side, rather. Well, he will get cleaned up eventually. It's AGM who's claiming his opponents 1 by 1 in mid, and the op will feast once more. 4 kills in total for AGM in that round. He started it off, and he just kept up the appetite, chomped them through them bit by bit. Polar Ace now have 3 different players on 12 frags.
Yeah, I was just looking at that myself. You know, we kind of meme around. We call, you know, op GM, but he's kind of like living true to that so far. He's been relatively consistent in all of the maps that we've seen him play in, so that's awesome. I love to see that. I love me a consistent opper to watch. Oh, look at those grenades, though. Hysteria can't catch a break. Those are massive grenades, and now they're walking into Picky all softened up and right for the taking, and Picky triples down. Looking for that 4th frag, and it's pretty much going to water down the entire offense. Now Donut, he wants some, and there it is. Behold, it is strong, Mike.
That's the perfect behold, right? You soften them up. It's like you put in like the pre-wash, and then you just hit them with a spin cycle, and then just to touch it all off, fabric softener. Claim those last 2 little kills. I've been doing a lot of laundry today, Roy.
That's a good thing, I guess.
Gotta have clean clothes. Gotta be fresh.
Yeah.
And look at this aggression. Jonah P straight down. They're varying their pace. We haven't really seen them do this pushing towards the bottom of Banana as of yet. Jonah P may position away there, but they're certainly going to have to respect the pos all bunched up in towards mid. No possibility. Now they can leave him. And by the time he got stuck out, he'd be the early warning system. He can get this quick flank in, and they've got a great hold setup towards A. I mean, I love this. I love this change of pace from Polar Ace.
Yeah, I definitely agreed with that one. I'm surprised that extra player Picky's kind of lingering around in Banana when they, you know, pretty much know that it's clear, but the flank and the pressure is coming in. The split towards the A site once again. We've seen this work before, and it seems to be working once again. And they find themselves not only the A site, but a man advantage going into this post plant. So Hysteria might be able to close off this half with a reasonable finish here.
This is a big position from Mundell. Unfortunately for him, he's just clearing bedroom at the wrong time. Timing is brutal, and now it's a 3-on-3 in the retake. Decent post-plant scenarios, at least with the player in towards pit, but the molly's going to force him out of it and right into the crosshair of AGM, who will strike with that off good and true. The flashes are good as well, and his players being mopped up on site. It comes down to Jonah P with only 4 HP and Dangle 50. He's trying to get Dangle to swing. He's got no health to operate with, and Dangle knows he can bully him. So that's exactly what he'll do. The AK spray down goes in, and it's an 8-6 half at the very least, with potential to tack on more. Only one surviving, though, means it is going to be shoestring type situation for Hysteria. They'll get the rifles up. They'll have the op as well, but they will be very limited on the utility.
I mean, luckily for them, it's the last round, so win or lose right here, they're not going to have to worry about economy moving forward. But, I mean, 9-6, 8-7, these are pretty common finishes for Inferno, so we're back on track. I mean, this was looking like a sweep in the beginning for Hysteria, but Polar Ace, man, they kept it together. Now they're going to kind of try to keep that streak alive. They can finish 9-6 here right here. That'd be a great finish. AGM once again with the AWP and doing that early damage. Unfortunately, not a fatal shot, but brings Hia down to 9 HP. I think he's happy with that.
That was such a bold spot as well. He didn't really have control from the arch side. They could have swung out mid on him. He just trusted his smoke and took the peek in towards bedroom. It works out this time, but that is playing with fire. Now it's going to be up to Shank to hold them as they flood out the balcony and try and keep them off of AGM's back. There's the Hawk. AGM finds the first and only support that he needs from Shank, but Shank can't stay alive for long, and eventually the numbered game just overwhelms them. It's still going to be an advantage for Polar Ace in the post plant, and of course it doesn't matter that they're letting that bomb go down, but Dangler alive and Jitter. These are the two most dangerous players, I would say, so far on the Hysteria roster. We'll see if they can bring through the round.
Yeah, it's a little awkward, though, because Dangler's position is kind of... They know exactly where he is. I mean, he's scoping around. They know exactly that he's on site, and I think he might just get overwhelmed right here before he can even answer back in any way. There it is. Picky burned...
You know, you gotta sacrifice your teammate to the molly god sometimes. In this case, he's trying to sacrifice himself. And the defuse comes through, and it is 9-6.
So Polar Ace, after going down 5 rounds at the beginning, off the back of that pistol and first gun round, they string together 8 in a row to win out this half. That's nice.
Yeah, that is. I mean, 9-6 is a pretty typical finish, right? But that usually the person that has 9 is the one that won pistol. Polar Ace, they lost pistol and lost the next 3 rounds after that, or 4 rounds after that. So they're finishing that 9-6. I mean, they're really happy. They've had the most gun round percentages, so that's usually a telltale sign of how this game will unfold. But now we're on a different side. Let's see if they can kind of keep up that momentum, keep up that speed on the offense.
And it is. It's going to be Jonah P as the tip of the spear, just trying to force his way in towards the arch side. And there is a smoke, but there's nobody behind it. And this is actually going to be the wrap in towards CT. It's a perfect read as well. It's Mundell who's the only one to defend, and Mundell will get overwhelmed instantly, not even armor to save him off. And it's kind of a reversal of situations. 2 CTs going to be making their way up the banana position to try and get back into this fight. Bomb will transition to a plant. Jitter and Dangler picking up a pair of kills might make this a little bit easier for them. They've now got the numbers advantage, if not the positioning. And Shank tries to get aggressive. A little bit of a misread there, I would say. With the bomb planted, now it's up to AGM and Picky to hold on to it. And Hysteria just going to bundle up the 4 and try and be a wreck.
I mean, luckily for Polar Ace, they have 2 armored players left. They are in a good crossfire here. They can play together. They have to hit their shots. It's the first one. Picky, AGM, all timing in together. Eventually, the trade comes out, but it's still a 2 versus 1. AGM finding a nice shot onto Jitter, leaving Hia all by himself. He has a kit, though, so AGM time is not enough. It'll have to be a kill. And Hia with the kit and the kill, securing the round once again for Hysteria, just in time, too. No kit, that would have been a round right there for Polar Ace, but that kit, well placed. All right, guys, sorry about this. Again, we're having some issues with our communications. We're going to have to go on a quick little break for a second. I'll put you guys on replays so you guys can watch some action, but we'll be right back in like 30 seconds while we get this situated, okay? We're just going to swap over to something different right here. 1 second, guys. I do apologize for that. It's really out of our control, though. Okay, no replays, but I'm just gonna go ahead and solo cast this while we gave Mike reset up on the new server that we're using. Gonna be Mundo all by himself right now towards Banana. This is getting a little bit scary because he's a solo defender right here, and there's 5 angry Polar Ace players coming right at him. Gonna have to have a massive, flawless hold right here. His position is compromised early on. He finds 1 kill, running at him, will have to reload, but throwing a P, not giving him a break to breathe. The remaining players before Hysteria trying to find their P, trying to find some positions above the smokes, but it's gonna be Jonah P. Icky spraying him down. That's Jitter gone down, the hard hitter for Hysteria. Now there are 3 players left. This is a very unfavorable scenario, and if they're unable to find kills right here, that might not end well. Shots coming off. Flashbangs okay. Gives him some room to breathe. Jonah P is just looking so sharp right now, and Jonah P with the ace. That is a massive round for Jonah P. If there's a round to go big on and save Polar Ace and give him that early momentum in this half, it was that round. And an ace to do it. That's a great job by Jonah P. 10-7. Hysteria's economy is unfortunately starting to struggle here. Again, guys, sorry, we're just trying to get Mike back on the mic here. I'm just gonna go ahead and just man the ship solo for now. Bob not well placed. Luckily, no aggression, so matter as much. Ace though, holding it down with the Galil. Mundo. Moved. Polar Ace are just trying to apply some pressure. They're not really trying to commit or do anything off that. I was just trying to get some information in front of that smoke to see whether they should overstack towards B or just kind of maintain their 2-2 split on the defense right now. Now, 2-2 defense honestly is likely not to work considering they're up against, you know, full AKs, full rifles, armor, utility. Not gonna end well for Hysteria. I would like to see them gamble stack, but I think, yeah, it's the gamble stack's already coming out right here, but it's not in the right direction. Polar Ace, they're looking, they have their crosses on that B site. They fall back. Oh, they're falling back. Uh-oh. First kill on B. Really not that much time left. Haya peeks out. Good timing, but unable to hit a shot. Now they're walking into the crossfire on A site, but unfortunately it has been removed. It's all down to Jitter now solo. He's not been checked yet. Shonk eventually checks it. Jitter almost finding a kill, but leaves him with 1 HP. That's a little unlucky. But yeah, we're gonna go to replays, guys. Just give me 1 second here while we get this fixed up, okay?
All right. Shonk now in a 2v2. It's Dangler and Lennon who just have to go ahead and save. Hysteria going to fall back. They don't have the armor to bully through this. They don't want to take the aim battle, the spray battle. And so Polar Ace will claim another round. Hysteria, they get out of it with some guns. So at least there's something to work with into the next. But it's going to be another round loss. And Polar Ace, they're starting to get towards those dangerous numbers now. Definitely 11 to, or 12 to 7. And this is a pretty commanding lead.
Yeah, I mean, commanding not only in terms of the round differential, but also the kind of the economy that Polar Ace is sitting on, right? This is becoming a mountain of cash soon. This is a post-buy. We have a player at 7.5. We have Jonah almost at 6,000. Shonk over that 6,000 mark. Base near that 4,000. Really, AGM, the opera, of course, with the expensive taste. He's the one kind of sitting at the lowest. But, man, this is getting a little bit worrisome for Hysteria for sure, no doubt. Now they have weapons, though. They have utility, and they're looking to go aggressive towards that banana. Get that control, get that map control as early as possible. That information flowing so they can get their numbers in the right places, and there it is. Now, as long as they have that banana control, they can keep their numbers strong towards that A site. So Polar Ace They do want to end A. They do have to take away this banana control. There it is. A flashbang going high. Brute force is coming out.
I like that flash pushes Jitter right off the angle, and it's going to draw the rotation straight back. So whether they want to do this or not, it was a great play just to divide the CT defense. It's going to be HIA holding from the fountain out in the back towards Arch. I like this spot, and he may have an opportunity in just a moment. Jonah P is going to swing on him. There's the shot, there's the lineup, and there's the kill as well. First blood drawn on the round. He may get an opportunity for a second. AGM wants to peek this, but his elbows are peeking around the corner. Just didn't quite have presence as to how far out he was, so his elbows will get trimmed. That's a rough one to give up. The op fed into the same angle they lost Jonah P to. Bit of an issue there.
That's a 2-man advantage already. Donk, one of the 3 remaining players, has been spotted early on towards the B side. Now this should give Hysteria a pretty telltale sign that this is likely ending right here. Now with the flashbangs following up, they definitely have an idea. Jitter though removes Shonk just a little too soon before he can do anything about it. And Jitter and Mundo closing it out, only losing 1 casualty. That's a good turnaround. That's a good start.
That's a huge round for Hysteria. Gives them a little bit of that cushion that they needed to maybe just let yourself breathe a little bit, calm down, keep it even, keep it set. Get in towards the end of this game and really make a game of it. Dangler's now got the op as well. They've got full belts of utility, everything in their pockets, every tool they could possibly want, and so will Polar Ace. This is going to be really the mano-a-mano round. Guns on guns. No excuses. Both sides got to bring their A game.
I mean, a round loss right here for Hysteria would be a disaster. Luckily, they do have a lot of money with that 4-man alive round, but again, they're not really working with much. They're kind of like nearing that end of the game mark too. So if they get reset later on this half, that's bad news bears.
That's a different team in the league, Roy.
Yeah, I can't say that anymore because they own the rights to that now.
They own it. They got a trademark. I'm pretty sure they filed a trademark with the Department of Trademarks or whoever settles that. It is going to be a player boosted up on the flower pot, which is a good spot, although it's a little tough to hold solo. He's got no one to distract focus on sight, which usually allows that second punch to come in. But provided there's a smoke, maybe get that first kill, fall into the smoke, fade away, and allow the rotation to come in for the post plant. There's a player lurking on the flank. That's Jonah P, who just spotted someone moving the booties around the other direction. So as his teammates take sight, he's going to set up to grab the rotators. And now they know that there's a potential for that flank. They've got to be careful. They've got to move in and secure themselves in the church. Jonah P is an ever-present threat, though he doesn't realize that there's another backstab. Won't matter. He goes into the op angle of Dangle. Loses his life instead there. He would have been silenced by Lennon if he had waited too long. And this is a tough situation to hold. AGM and Base, the dynamic duo. They've got an op. They've got a rifle. Almost no utility behind it. They've got to hold on. But Base gets 2. That's huge. AGM spots another coming through, and now they've got the crossfire set up. It's just ops for days, and they're ripping heads off of shoulders. Lennon now only one to defend, and AGM will just up close shotgun up him right in the body, knock him back, and claim that 13th round for Polar Ace.
Yeah, what a hold too. That's a 2 versus 4. Even with AGM missing that first shot, I thought as soon as AGM missed that first shot, that was gonna kind of like break apart quickly right there. But Base with that double kill towards construction, that's a massive find. I'm surprised he even came out with a double kill. They were well spaced out. That should have been an easy one and done right there. Clear him out. AGM left. Easy retake there for Hysteria, but I think they can't really afford to make. Now they're fully invested. Yeah, going for that early pick. Unable to find much though. It's going to be Polar Ace picking up that banana control. Just on schedule, I would say, but this is tough. I mean, there's so many opportunities for Hysteria to kind of come in on top here, but they're really not able to capitalize off it much. Now they're kind of in a tough cookie.
Polar Ace have been doing such a good job of anytime a little bit of momentum gets picked up by Hysteria, just shutting it down immediately.
Yeah.
They can't get the ball rolling at all. I mean, since their 5 rounds at the beginning of the game, every single round has been isolated, completely isolated by at least, I think, 3 rounds, if you don't count the pistol at the beginning of the half. It just really demoralizes a team, and it feels like, okay, finally, this is the breakthrough. This is the round where we get, oh, no, never mind. Just, that's a tough pill to swallow, and they're going to have to deal with it. It's going to be Lennon who takes the first aggression. There's 3 players ready to stare right into the face of the UMP, but they're not hard checking him. It's not allowing him to get a kill. That's good conversion on the SMG. Problem is the second player gets dug out on sight immediately. The op can strike, but now it's post-plant, and they've got the utility advantage as well as even numbers. 2 ops might be worth saving considering how little is in the bank for Hysteria and how much we're getting in towards the waning hours of this game. Got to make a decision right away.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is a This is kind of a cut the arm to save the body type scenario, right? You go for this with double ops, and I mean, ops alone, one op is a hard retake. 2 ops, that's really hard. It's so hard to gain space, and I think they're already kind of cutting the arm. It's a smart decision by Hysteria, not favoring them, and they only have 1 kit on hands of Dangler, of course, but yeah, I do like the save call right here, even though it was a 3-on-3. At least he can bring that into this next round and not work with nothing. You don't have to forfeit that, you know, that 14th or 15th on the board for Polar Ace. So, good decision. But they definitely, they desperately need this next round. There's no way they can drop this one.
If they do, it'll all be over. I mean, they'll have pennies to buy their defense for the next. They'll be fighting with sticks against. That's never a winning formula. So Hysteria, they got to put the boot down now. And they really haven't looked like they had much control on anything that's been happening in quite a while. AGM, he's looking for the initial pick, and no one really wants to give it to him. They're all a little bit hesitant, so instead they're going to turn their attention towards the top of Banana, where Dangler is ready to strike. He'll get the first, but there's a trade elsewhere on the map. Polar Ace now can pick their poison, decide where to go. But Jitter is waiting like a mousetrap at the bottom of the stairs, Home Alone style, to snap at unsuspecting toes.
And toes he finds in his second pair of toes on Picky. AGM and base now the last 2 players alive. 4 players are surviving here for Hysteria moving forward. Would that be a great answer to this kind of the dilemma that they're in right now? See what AGM and base are gonna be up to here.
They get that first kill. I mean, I thought he had the angle dead to rights with the op, but it just doesn't quite work out. Now they got a little bit of room to maneuver. There's 2 players here defending the site, but EGM's drawing a lot of focus away from the lane, and that might allow base to work his way up. We saw them convert a 2v4 in the post plant. Now they're in a 2v3, but they've got to get to that post plant situation, and Mundo could have a strong spot. The question is, does EGM hard clear it? He does indeed. That's a big kill to find. The other player stuck in towards the apartments, so though he's going to swing, he may not have the timing. Base is going to check it. That's bold, and AGM will at the least get a plan out of it, but now he's in a 1v2 with 19 HP. He's stuck in the corner, and he knows they're coming for him.
Yeah, this is... There's hope, though, for AGM. He has the element of surprise. They don't really know where he is. The flashbangs are going to go out now, and they're going to start the hunt for AGM. As soon as he gets to the top of this box, and as soon as he gets that kill, luckily for him, he's found Dangle. That's a healthy player. Now it's all evened up. It's 1 shot for 1 shot, but Jitter's just a little too quick for AGM. It is a round for Hysteria, but not nearly as clean as they would have liked this. They might not even have much in this next round. It's going to be tough. Luckily for Dangler has 1,500. At least he has that to work with. Yeah, it's going to be a rough buy right here.
They've got a bit. It's definitely going to be a little bit on the ropes. I like that little detail from AGM. Instead of hopping up into the corner spot where they know he's played previously, they know that he's been around there, he just stays just off of it. So they're checking the wrong angle at the time they come around and present themselves to him. Lets him get the first kill. Doesn't quite convert the second, but still a good turnaround in a round where you wind up in a 2v3 rough situation. They make apples out of a rough spot. 8 out of lemons would be the expression. I'm mixing up my fruit.
Wait, what? Oof, you lost me at the first set of fruits.
Chaotic. We're making cider out of bad apples. Mixed metaphors.
Yeah, Mel's working on making you look good on camera too, because you're going to be coming back looking like a static image.
There we go. Got to find some pretty pictures. It's rough to do. Plumbed the depths of my Twitter to find the one good photo of me.
You actually have a nice photo. I like that one. It's a good. But this is an important pause here from Polar Ace. I mean, this is what could be the last investment before they go broke. Definitely don't want to forfeit that too easily. While yeah, they do have a 5-round lead, that lead could be going away much quicker than they might anticipate. Everything needs to be planned out carefully, and I'm glad to see people taking out their timeouts.
And now let's see what they've got. Let's see what they've got in their bag of tricks. Both sides are pretty even. A little bit of utility advantage over towards the Polar Ace side, but there are no ops on the server, and everybody's got a UMP as the handicap, right? It looks like we're getting fast instead. Kia just goes straight to it. He's feasting. The trade is good. Jitter traded for 2, and now there's a third player here to defend. It's all on AGM. His teammate went into the blender. They tried to get fast, and they were punished for it. No, Mundle will drop. AGM still has 2 to find, and they found his exposed backside. And they're clipping off little chunks of it. So now they've actually given him the bomb, dropped the smoke to give him the cover, and AGM has everything in terms of time. He could actually get off of this lose himself somewhere on the map, and he might be able to find an angle to exploit. I don't love that decision from Hysteria. I know they wanted to allow enough time to let that last player to come in and support, but they gave him the space.
Yeah, there is a question mark though, right? AGM has no idea where that second player is. Yeah, he knows the angler's there because he got a kill, or because he showed himself, excuse me. But Lennon, his position has not yet been compromised. AGM has no idea where Lennon is. Lennon could be holding alt mid right now. He could be in apps. He could be in pit. Right? These are all question marks in AGM's mind. While, yeah, not the best way to forfeit the bomb. AGM will have to at least use some time to kind of clear all these angles out. I think at some point Hysteria will start to recognize that the bomb is missing. As long as they stay grouped, they should be able to trade out AGM. But now AGM's on site.
He nearly got them last time, right? He's pretty wily, this AGM. He's going to get a plant completely uncontested. He plants wide open, so now he could be anywhere in the post plant. I don't know. I think he might be able to do this. If they come around towards Arch, he's going to be able to isolate a 1v1. He's trying to clear out Library, make sure nobody's coming from this direction, and he's quickly going to realize they're not. They're both up the lane. They've already gained ground, but they're going to have to clear every possible spot on site. Graveyard. They didn't check fully into pit, I don't believe, but at the very least, they've got a smoke for the bomb, so the defuse is already going to come in. And does AGM realize? Is he going to get the spray? He has the second. He knows they're there, but it doesn't matter. The defuse came through, and Dangler, just by the hair of his chinny chin, he'll stay alive and get that bomb defused.
Hey, that's an understatement. He took a bullet too, right? I think he got hit. He survived with like barely like 15 HP or something. That's a little bit of luck on both sides, I think. But hey, they hang on, and that's all that matters. 10 to 14. That gap, luckily for Polar Ace, the bomb plan going down is giving them the confidence and just enough money to kind of justify this force buy. But I really don't know how I feel about this force buy. I feel like they could have just got a full gun run, got their full AKs up. But let's see how it plays out. Maybe they want to utilize the fact that Hysteria has not much utility to work with. And limited on the weapons as well. Lennon's down to an ump.
See what they can do. At least the op's available to try and open some stuff up. Bullying with the utility. I mean, we've seen them have success with the Deagles before. It was never really a full conversion, but definitely something to work with here. You see the hesitation out from Hysteria. They definitely don't want to expose themselves early. I like this stack over towards the lane side, and Dangler's actually going to take first aggression. He doesn't find much for it, but he's at least going to put the fear of God into the remaining players that they can't quite sneak down Boiler without being punished. There is, however, a player almost out balcony, and if he moves, he's going to find open space and potentially a backstab. This could be a strong spot for Jonah P. Now as they move in towards bracket, he's going to realize what's going on. He's trying to flash his way out and actually give his position away. He's on towards site, but his teammates, they're all dead. He should find one. There it is, but he needs to find so much more because now he's the last man alive, and he's stuck on site with no control of the bomb.
Yeah, the bomb's so far away. There's so many places that he'll have to cross before he can even get that. And I think it's being well held down too by Hysteria. They're not letting go of it this time. At least they have 4 players alive. They're not going to forfeit the bomb for free. 15 seconds left on the clock, and I think that is just going to be a save from Jonah P here. Nothing to find, nothing to gain. Just save that AK, save that economy. Hope for the best in the next round. But Hysteria, you know, at one point I was kind of questioning, Mike, are they, you know, with this being this close to losing the map, are they going to maintain their confidence? Are they going to maintain their aggression, you know, keep playing their style of defense, right? Because as soon as you start playing too passive, you kind of give a lot of the control away, right? But Hysteria, they're showing that confidence even in time of pressure. That's a big telltale sign.
Now this is an interesting one. You've got the hero AK and Jonah P. No one else is really going to invest too much, and it's actually okay because he had 1900 in reserve, so it's pretty level across the board. They got that even coating of Cashola, so they will have guns the next. But Hysteria, they're making a game of this. If they take one more major gun round, all of a sudden we got a tie ball game. So the question is, can Jonah P be the crowbar that they need to pry open the doors into the round? Because if he finds one, maybe the rest can start to follow, and he's trying to pressure towards Lennon. Playing this balcony spot and has been having a little bit of a tough go of it. Might just be the gap in defense that they need to bully. Jitter first aggro, Dangle on the crossfire as well. They're going to shut it down towards mid, and that is the bomb. So it's all just Jonah and Base, who are the only players with armor, and now they're players with multiple rifles, if there were multiple of them to stay alive to hold them. It's Jonah P in a familiar situation, all alone, bomb lost, trying to claim some sort of damage in this round.
It is going to be so hard for Jonah P to get out of these halls. There is a player behind him that he has not seen yet. It's Haya. Yeah, Haya. I'm not really sure which way I like it. Beats have been spotted. Wait, this man is sharp. I like it. Not hesitate. There it is, though. The gap is almost closed. There's only one gun round left for Polar Ace before we're at 14-14.
And they will have the op, which we know they like. We know they like to have that in the hands of AGM.
For sure.
That's maybe been a little less effective on the T side, but still a big gun to count for. And Dangle's got it on the other side. He has been good. Dangler and Jitter. Really the names to watch so far. It's going to be Sean getting aggressive. This time the CTs try to match it step for step, and it does not work out. They do a ton of damage, though. AGM is quite low, but they come out on top in terms of numbers. It is a slaughter on Banana early, and there are 3 bodies touching the cold cobblestones.
I wonder if there's a reaction here from Hysteria. Right now, they seem to be pretty input. Dangler looking for that duel with AWP in middle. He's not going to find anything, and I think that will give them the information that they need. That Polar Race is likely behind that smoke towards Banana. Mundo, he's going to have to go massive here. They're slow them down with a Molotov. Try to find a pick somehow, or buy enough time for Dangler to kind of help. See how it unfolds.
Base has the cross. Now he knows there's nobody to defend. That bomb can go down. They'll reposition towards the coffins. But Mundell, he's just walking into bullets through the smoke. He's lost himself. He has to back out. He doesn't know where he is. Lost complete control of his positioning. He just had to fade away. So now we're in the post-plant situation with a man advantage for Polar Ace, and they're looking to start to seal this game away, looking to salt it and store it for the winter. It's going to be players moving in from the coffin position, a little bit of support from CT, but it's a great post-plant for Polar Ace, and they're just going to be dropping bodies. That's the op as the last survivor. Dangler just has to take the fight. He's got to battle it, and with time expiring, he's going to try and get away. Picky, though, should not allow this. He's got the flank, and there's a player pushing into coffins, so he is inevitably a dead man. Polar Ace, they claim map point, so they let it slip a little bit. Now they're ready to shut it all down and put it away.
Right, luckily for Hysteria, though, they were able to keep at least some of these rounds clean, so now they have some money kind of seeping over into this round. See the kind of buy that they're working with, though. It's going to be a decent buy. It's only really just Lennon kind of struggling. They do have the AWP for Dangler, which has been pretty effective on the CT side so far, I would say. But they only have 1K, and that might be a X factor.
Oh, look at this push. It's been constant. It's who's been more aggressive on Banana, who's been able to catch that initial player off. And this time it's Dangler, and he's a big piece for this roster, as we know. So that's a big piece of the defense out. Now Hysteria looking a little worse for the wear, and Polar Ace can just continue to bully them. B site is completely open for the taking. Mundell tried to re-aggress to reassert a little bit of control, and he got demolished in the process. So now the site falls, the bomb will be planted, and it's left to Hia and Jitter to just try and make this happen. And they've got a flank. Jonah P is here. They don't realize it either, so he's got them exposed. That's an easy frag. And the last player spotted. He may not get the kill, but there's no chance he's going to get back into this round. There's 4 players chasing him from Banana. It's just a matter of time. Painted into the corner. He'll take the first, but there's more bodies on the way, and he's got to battle this out. The reposition is good, and they're feeding into him one by one. There's no way he does this.
No, okay.
Oh, APM silences him. Everybody wanted to get that last frag, and they nearly gave you a chance to get his team back into it, but it just wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate because, like, Lennon on for Hysteria, he's not having a great game. He's at 5 kills, 4 assists. You know, kind of a clear underperformer in this map. I mean, I've seen Lennon play before. He's a pretty talented player overall. Hello, Static Mike. But yeah, he's a pretty talented player overall, but it's really unfortunate. I mean, had he stepped up or maybe had some of the rounds gone differently for Hysteria, that would have been either, you know, overtime or possible win for Hysteria. But 16-12, I think that was as close as we expected it. We weren't really too sure what direction it was going to go. I think we were feeling kind of the Polar Ace win here, but that was a great game to watch. That's a banger of a first map to start off the evening for us. But
it really was. I'm glad Hysteria could make that little bit of a run back to make this really competitive. Because it did seem one-sided for a large part of it, but they just didn't quite have enough in the tank to bring it back. But there's a lot to look at and a lot to draw conclusions from.
Sure. I mean, we're seeing that kind of that upward trajectory for Hysteria, right? I mean, they got absolutely swamped yesterday by Lazarus, but now even against a team just like slightly below Lazarus, they're performing pretty well. So it's a upward trend at the very least, and I'm sure we'll see them come up with a win really soon. But that is the end of the first map for us. Of course, we still have 2 more games. Up next is going to be Singularity versus Loki Esports, which I imagine the video is already underway. So we're going to go for a quick short break, grab some drinks, grab some snacks, because the action will begin before you even know it, guys.